धीमहि यो यो नमः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नमः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। हम होंगे कामयाब, हम होंगे कामयाब, हम होंगे कामयाब एक दिन। ओ मन में है विश्वास, पूरा है विश्वास, हम होंगे कामयाब एक दिन। हम चलेंगे साथ साथ, डाले हाथों में हाथ, हम चलेंगे साथ साथ एक दिन। ओ मन में है विश्वास, पूरा है विश्वास, हम होंगे कामयाब एक दिन। होगी शांति चारों ओर, होगी शांति चारों ओर, होगी शांति चारों ओर एक दिन। ओ मन में है विश्वास, पूरा है विश्वास, हम होंगे कामयाब एक दिन। नहीं डर किसी का आज, नहीं डर किसी का आज, नहीं डर किसी का आज एक दिन। ओ मन में है विश्वास, पूरा है विश्वास, हम होंगे कामयाब एक दिन। सत्य मुक्त करेगा हमें, सत्य मुक्त करेगा हमें, सत्य मुक्त करेगा हमें। ओ मन में है विश्वास, पूरा है विश्वास, हम होंगे कामयाब एक दिन। हम होंगे कामयाब, हम होंगे कामयाब, हम होंगे कामयाब एक दिन। ओ मन में है विश्वास, पूरा है विश्वास, हम होंगे कामयाब एक दिन। हम होंगे कामयाब एक दिन, हम होंगे कामयाब एक दिन, हम होंगे कामयाब एक दिन। ओम श्री राम कृष्ण भगवान की जय। नंद कुमारा नवनीत चोरा, ताम्रे कन्ना श्री हरि। नंद कुमारा नवनीत चोरा, ताम्रे कन्ना श्री हरि। श्यामल कोमल कृष्ण मुरारी, मोहन मुरली धारी। नंद कुमारा नवनीत चोरा, ताम्रे कन्ना श्री हरि। इरे इरे कार्तिक यत्ने कोंदुम, करुमुगल वंदरे गोविंदा। इरे इरे कार्तिक यत्ने वन्दरे गोविन्दा पूरियन् गोपियन् इरैन पूरि आदिनान् परियानन्दम् द्रौपदी मानते करुणे कातुने तुरये कलन्द मुकुन्दा नन्दकुमारा नवनीत चोरा ताम्रे कन्ना श्रीहरि श्यामल कोमल कृष्ण मुरारी मोहन मुरलीधारी नन्दकुमारा नवनीत चोरा ताम्रे कन्ना श्रीहरि कंसने कोन्द्रा करुतुयवेन्द्र वसुदेवन मगन्धीर चेदाये कंसने कोन्द्रा करुतुयवेन्द्र वसुदेवन मगन्धीर चेदाये मनिलुम किन्द्रा मरवापिनन्दा कार्तुने अखिलमे अवतारो जगत् गोविन्द निन्तिरुनामो करुणे कदले श्रीहरि नन्दकुमारा नवनीत चोरा ताम्रे कन्ना श्रीहरि नन्दकुमारा नवनीत चोरा ताम्रे कन्ना श्रीहरि श्यामल कोमल कृष्ण मुरारी मोहन मुरलीधारी नन्दकुमारा नवनीत चोरा ताम्रे कन्ना श्रीहरि ताम्रे कन्ना श्रीहरि ताम्रे कन्ना श्रीहरि ओम श्री राम कृष्ण भगवान की जय।
दशरथ नंदन राम राम जय सीता राम जय राम राम
दशरथ नंदन राम राम जय सीता राम जय राम राम
दशरथ नंदन राम राम जय सीता राम जय राम राम
दशरथ नंदन राम राम जय सीता राम जय राम राम
कौशल्या सुत राम राम जय सीता राम जय राम राम
कौशल्या सुत राम राम जय सीता राम जय राम राम
कौशल्या सुत राम राम जय सीता राम जय राम राम
कौशल्या सुत राम राम जय सीता राम जय राम राम
जय सीता राम जय राम राम
जय सीता राम जय राम राम
दशरथ नंदन राम राम जय सीता राम
लक्ष्मण सेवित राम राम जय सीता राम जय राम राम
जय सीता राम जय राम राम
जय सीता राम जय राम राम
दशरथ नंदन राम राम जय सीता राम जय राम राम
दशरथ नंदन राम राम जय सीता राम जय राम राम
मारुति पूजित राम राम जय सीता राम जय राम राम
मारुति पूजित राम राम जय सीता राम जय राम राम
मारुति पूजित राम राम जय सीता राम जय राम राम
मारुति पूजित राम राम जय सीता राम जय राम राम
जय सीता राम जय राम राम
जय सीता राम जय राम राम
दशरथ नंदन राम राम जय सीता राम जय राम राम
दशरथ नंदन राम राम जय सीता राम जय राम राम
कौशल्या सुत राम राम जय सीता राम जय राम राम
कौशल्या सुत राम राम जय सीता राम जय राम राम
जय सीता राम जय राम राम
जय सीता राम जय राम राम
दशरथ नंदन राम राम जय सीता राम जय राम राम
दशरथ नंदन राम राम जय सीता राम जय राम राम
लक्ष्मण सेवित राम राम जय सीता राम जय राम राम
लक्ष्मण सेवित राम राम जय सीता राम जय राम राम
जय सीता राम जय राम राम
जय सीता राम जय राम राम
दशरथ नंदन राम राम जय सीता राम जय राम राम
दशरथ नंदन राम राम जय सीता राम जय राम राम
मारुति पूजित राम राम जय सीता राम जय राम राम
मारुति पूजित राम राम जय सीता राम जय राम राम
जय सीता राम जय राम राम
जय सीता राम जय राम राम
जय सीता राम जय राम राम
जय सीता राम जय राम राम
जय सीता राम जय राम राम
जय सीता राम जय राम राम
दशरथ नंदन राम राम जय सीता राम जय राम राम
ओम श्री राम कृष्ण भगवान की जय। Achyutam kesavam narayana shambho shankara sadashiva Achyutam kesavam narayana shambho shankara sadashiva Deenabandho narayana anatha rakshaka sadashiva Deenabandho narayana anatha rakshaka sadashiva Vaikuntavasa narayana Kailasavasa sadashiva Vaikuntavasa narayana Kailasavasa sadashiva Lakshmikantam narayana Parvati ramana sadashiva Lakshmikantam narayana Parvati ramana sadashiva Chakradhari narayana Tirasuladhari sadashiva Chakradhari narayana Tirasuladhari sadashiva Shankhodhari narayana Dhammarudhari sadashiva Shankhodhari narayana Dhammarudhari sadashiva Garuda savari narayana Nandi savari sadashiva Garuda savari narayana Nandi savari sadashiva Hari Om narayana Hara Om 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 sadashiva Hara Om sadashiva Hari Om narayana 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 Hari Om narayana Hara Om sadashiva 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 Om Shri Ram Krishna Bhagavan ki jai.
Salutations to that king of renounces and controller of passions, the sage Vivekananda, who is Satchitananda, existence, knowledge, and bliss absolute itself, the spiritual preceptor and the remover of distress. Respected Pravrajika Ishta Pranamataji, dearest elders, loving brothers and sisters, Om Namo Narayanaya. With the passing of Sri Ramakrishna, a new chapter opened in the life of Swami Vivekananda. At the age of 24, Narayan and 15 brother disciples faced many hardships, but Narayan gathered the Divine Brotherhood together and lived in a house at Pranam in Calcutta. It was an old and dilapidated building. Cobras hissed in it, and it was reported to be a haunted house. The monks were fearless and were united by the love they had received from their master. Narayan and his brother disciples practiced sincere tapasya for more than 5 years at the Baranagar Math. The young disciples would rise at 3 a.m. to perform japa and meditate for long hours. In 1886, 8 of the disciples went to Anpur for a retreat. It was the day before Christmas when they sat around the fire to meditate. Narayan spoke to them about renunciation and the sacrifices that the Master had made for the benefit of humanity. The disciples took monastic vows that night. Narayan was known as Swami Vivekananda. In 1888, Swamiji set out on a pilgrimage of India. His first stop was at Varanasi, India's eternal holy city. Here he had an interesting experience with a gang of monkeys and learned to be courageous and to face his fears. He went to Ayodhya, Lucknow and Vrindavan, where thoughts of Sri Krishna, who came to protect India, filled his mind. Throughout his travels, Swamiji felt that God was with him, protecting and guiding him on his journey. At the Hathras railway station, the station master recognized a great soul in this wandering monk and, charmed by him, became his disciple. Swami Vivekananda loved him so much that once, when this disciple fell ill, Swamiji nursed him and carried his belongings, including his shoes. This disciple later became Swami Sadananda. After visiting Rishikesh, Swamiji returned to Calcutta. In July 1890, Swamiji went to the Himalayas to be in solitude, for he felt that it was essential to be in isolation to contemplate. In the words of Romain Rolland, a French novelist, this was the great departure. Like a diver, he plunged into the ocean of India, and the ocean of India covered his tracks. Among its flotsam and jetsam, he was nothing more than one nameless sannyasin in a saffron robe among 1,000 others. But the fire of genius shone in his eyes. He was a prince despite all disguise. Although in the early days of his wandering, Swamiji occasionally stayed with princes and rich folk, his heart was always with the poor. He preached to all the message of manliness. He advised young men to study Sanskrit along with Western science. All power is within you. You can do anything and everything. Do not believe that you are weak. Stand up and express the divinity within you. His object in meeting with the rich was to influence them and through them ensure the welfare and prosperity of the common man. Swamiji acquired much knowledge through the experience of his travels, and he imparted this wisdom to all those who came to him. He said, "We want that education by which character is formed, strength of mind is increased, the intellect is expanded, and by which one can stand on one's own feet." Swami Vivekananda related an incident. He said that once he was sitting in the hot sun at a railway station. He had not eaten for a few days because he had no money. While he sat there contemplating, a rich businessman began to taunt him. He said, "These young fellows are so lazy. They put on the garb of a monk so that they don't have to work. They waste away their lives doing nothing." Addressing Swamiji, he said, "See what good food and cold water I have. I earn money, so I have these good things. You do not work, so you are starving. Don't be idle. Go and work. Now who will give you food?" Swamiji sat quietly and said nothing. Suddenly, a sweetmeat vendor came running. He spread out a mat and laid fresh food and water, exclaiming, "Maharaj, oh Maharaj, please come and eat some food." Swamiji replied, "You must be mistaken, my good man. This cannot be for me. I do not know you." The sweetmeat vendor replied, "No, Babaji, this is for you. I was taking a nap after my meal when Sri Ramji came in my dream and said, "You are resting here while my son is starving at the station. Go and feed him." Taking this to be a mere dream, I turned and slept again. This time Sri Ramji pushed me from the bench and scolded me, saying, "Didn't I ask you to feed my son? He hasn't eaten for days. Go, take some cool water and whatever you have to eat. Maharaj, please come and eat, otherwise my Ramji will scold me. Please be gracious and eat." The businessman was flabbergasted. He cried, "Oh God, please forgive me. Swamiji, please forgive me. Now I understand that God provides for all." Swamiji teaches us to have implicit faith in God. While visiting some of the Western cities in India, Swamiji heard about the Parliament of the World Religions, which was to be held in Chicago in 1893. He felt an urge to attend and spread the message of Vedanta and Indian wisdom to the West. During his travels, he met kings and helpers who expressed their enthusiasm at having him participate in the Parliament of Religions. By this time, Swamiji was on his way to Kanyakumari, the southernmost tip of India. From the Himalayas in the north to Kanyakumari in the south, Swamiji had toured India as a devout pilgrim. His feet had trod the sacred dust of Bharat Mata. His eyes had seen her countless shrines and temples, and his spirit was now one with India's soul. He now knew India as few others had known her. He visualized her ancient glory in its full measure. The cause of her then seeming disillusion was clear to his mind. The coming glory of India was an open book for him. At Kanyakumari, there is a temple dedicated to the Divine Mother in the form of a young girl. This temple stands near the seashore of southern India. As we look over the ocean, we see big rocks standing up within the vast ocean. One day, Swamiji swam to the rocks through the dashing waves and shark-infested waters, and sat on the last rock. Looking at his beloved motherland from here, he wept to think of the misery of her children. Here, Swamiji went into deep meditation and felt inspired to make India great again. He envisioned the Master beckoning him to go abroad, across the waters to the west. With the blessings of Sri Ramakrishna, he planned to lead the Ganges of Indian wisdom to the shores of the west. He was now to become the prophet who had to proclaim his message of benediction to the restless soul of humanity. Swami Vivekananda wished to present the ideals of Vedanta before the world. He believed that different religions were mere paths to attain the ultimate truth. Through intense practice, these ideals would lead to the manifestation of the divinity in man. He thus molded the old Vedantic religion to suit modern needs. Before going abroad to represent India and Hinduism at the Parliament of Religions, Narayan was tested by his mother on whether he had the right to preach Hinduism. After a delicious supper, they sat down to eat some fruits. Swamiji cut the fruit, ate it, and after that, his mother asked him for the knife. He handed over the knife to his mother, and she was more than pleased. She said, "You have passed the test, and you are now eligible to preach Hinduism to the world." A confused Swamiji questioned her about what she meant. His mother replied, "Son, when I asked you for the knife, I saw how you handed it to me. You gave the knife by holding its sharp edge and gave the wooden handle of the knife towards me, so that I would not get hurt when I take it. This means that you took care of me, and this was the test that you passed. To have compassion and to take care of others is a remarkable quality. It is the law of nature that the more selfless you are, the more you will receive." Swami Vivekananda said, "If I had preached the personality of Sri Ramakrishna, I might have converted half the world. But that kind of conversion is short-lived. So instead, I preached my Master's principles. If people accept the principles, they eventually accept the personality. We salute this great son of India who lived for the good of the world." Jai Shri Swamiji.
ओंकारा शिव तव शरणम् ॐ शिव परात् परा शिव ओंकारा शिव तव शरणम् नमामि शंकर भवानि शंकर नमामि शंकर भवानि शंकर उमा महेश्वर तव शरणम् उमा महेश्वर तव शरणम् ॐ शिव परात् परा शिव ओंकारा शिव तव शरणम् ॐ शिव परात् परा शिव ओंकारा शिव तव शरणम् धम्म परात् पर पूर्ण महेश्वर ब्रह्म परात् पर पूर्ण महेश्वर गंगाधर हर तव शरणम् गंगाधर हर तव शरणम् ॐ शिव परात् परा शिव ओंकारा शिव तव शरणम् ॐ शिव परात् परा शिव ओंकारा शिव तव शरणम् जप शिव निरन्तरम् जप शिव निरन्तरम् स्मर हर निरन्तरम् स्मर हर निरन्तरम् ॐ शिव परात् परा शिव ओंकारा शिव तव शरणम् ॐ शिव परात् परा शिव ओंकारा शिव तव शरणम् शिव शिवाय नमो शिव शिवाय नमो हर हराय नमो हर हराय नमो ॐ शिव परात् परा शिव ओंकारा शिव तव शरणम् ॐ शिव परात् परा शिव ओंकारा शिव तव शरणम् शिव शिवाय नमो शिव शिवाय नमो हर हराय नमो हर हराय नमो शिव शिवाय नमो शिव शिवाय नमो हर हराय नमो हर हराय नमो शिव शिवाय नमो हर हराय नमो शिव शिवाय नमो हर हराय नमो शिव शिवाय नमो हर हराय नमो हर हराय नमो शिव शिवाय नमो हर हराय नमो शिव शिवाय नमो शिव शिवाय नमो ॐ श्री राम कृष्ण भगवान की जय। करो सत्संग प्यारा, जन्म सफल हो जाए तुम्हारा। करो सत्संग प्यारा, जन्म सफल हो जाए तुम्हारा। संशय सकल मिटाय ज्ञान का होय उजाला रे। संशय सकल मिटाय ज्ञान का होय उजाला रे। करो सत्संग प्यारा, जन्म सफल हो जाए तुम्हारा। करो सत्संग प्यारा, जन्म सफल हो जाए तुम्हारा। मूर्त पूजन में मन लागे, मूर्त पूजन में मन लागे। कोटि न तीर्थ में फिर आवे, मन का भरम न जाए बिना सत्संग विचारा रे। मन का भरम न जाए बिना सत्संग विचारा रे। करो सत्संग प्यारा, जन्म सफल हो जाए तुम्हारा। यज्ञ दान जप तप बहु भारी, यज्ञ दान जप तप बहु भारी। चाप तिलक माला गलधारी, ज्ञान बिना नहीं मोक्ष होय कर जतन हजारा रे। ज्ञान बिना नहीं मोक्ष होय कर जतन हजारा रे। करो सत्संग प्यारा, जन्म सफल हो जाए तुम्हारा। कहे अनेक कर्मा शुभ कोई, कहे अनेक कर्मा शुभ कोई। सत्संगत सम फल नहीं होई, घड़ी पलक चिन्ह माही होय भव सागर पारा रे। घड़ी पलक चिन्ह माही होय भव सागर पारा रे। करो सत्संग प्यारा, जन्म सफल हो जाए तुम्हारा। निश दिन हरि चर्चा जहाँ होई, निश दिन हरि चर्चा जहाँ होई। ब्रह्मानंद संग शुभ सोई, परमेश्वर के ध्यान भजन से हो निष्ठारा रे। परमेश्वर के ध्यान भजन से हो निष्ठारा रे। करो सत्संग प्यारा, जन्म सफल हो जाए तुम्हारा। करो सत्संग प्यारा, जन्म सफल हो जाए तुम्हारा। संशय सकल मिटाय ज्ञान का होय उजाला रे। संशय सकल मिटाय ज्ञान का होय उजाला रे। करो सत्संग प्यारा, जन्म सफल हो जाए तुम्हारा। करो
कृष्ण भगवान की जय।
Om Namo Narayanaya, dear sisters and brothers. Let us concentrate our minds on the radiant form of God seated in our hearts. Swami Vivekananda is the embodiment of strength. The experiences of life made Swamiji brave and bold. Swamiji encourages us to face our challenges boldly and always go forward. Swamiji says, it is better to wear out than to rust out, especially for the sake of doing good to others. By helping others, we only help ourselves. May Swamiji inspire us to be bold and courageous and go forward in life. Om Shanti. Shanti, Shanti.
ॐ सर्वेषां स्वस्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरि ओम तत्सत्। जय श्री गुरु महाराज की जय। महामाई की जय। स्वामी जी महाराज की जय। गंगा मात की जय। महावीर स्वामी जी की जय। सर्व ऋषि मुनियों की जय। पार्वती पतये हर हर महा